AR, VR, and mixed reality are here. Are you ready? Hi, I'm Tonya Hall for ZDNet, and joining me is Jake Leeman. He is a senior technical strategist for Sandbox and someone who specializes in those other realities. Welcome, Jake.
Well, hey, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So, what is Sandbox?
Sandbox is a full-service advertising agency. We've got about, I think, 7 locations now all over the U.S. and Canada. And we deal in a wide variety of verticals, from everything from consumer electronics, healthcare, to animal health, and many more.
Many more. So, in that arena, what is a senior technical strategist do?
Well, it's my job to help connect our account and creative teams and clients with marketing technology. So there's a lot of innovative tools out there right now within the marketing technology space, and there's a level of technical craftsmanship that's needed with some of this more advanced storytelling. And it's my job to kind of help make sure that the stories the clients want to tell can be told with the right technology in a cool and clever way that consumers are actually going to be interested in and engaged with.
One of your specialties is VR, AR, and mixed reality. So, if you could explain the differences between those different types of technologies.
Sure. So I think the easiest one to start with is AR. So augmented reality is usually defined by the fact that there is a screen, a layer, if you will, between the user and their environment. So you're always looking you're looking at digital artifacts in the real world. VR, you're looking at virtual objects in a virtual world. So that's a big distinguisher between the two. The mixed reality is it's sort of a made up term in the sense that it's something Microsoft's really jumped onto, and they're trying to brand everything they're doing with their new headsets and Windows 10 as mixed reality. But when you mush it all together, it's really just kind of AR and VR mixed together, being able to show real objects in a real objects in a virtual environment, or virtual objects in a real environment, and being able to kind of go back and forth a little more freely.
How do you approach using augmented reality or virtual reality for clients?
I think the easiest way when I get in discussions with people to imagine whether these technologies are right, there's a kind of a simple thing I'll run through that is your product or service or whatever it is you're trying to tell the story about. Is it too small to show and understand, in human interaction? Is it too big to transport and actually do, demonstration and interaction around? Or is it so complicated that it makes that conversation clunky? If it hits one of those 3 criteria, then it's almost guaranteed that there's probably a good use case for AR and VR in some manner. So whether that may be a marketing sense, where we're trying to tell an engaging story and be creative and bring something to life in a fun way, or it may veer into more education and training. And I've always posited that good training is good marketing. So if I have a product that can be better serviced in the field, can be better understood by the end users by using AR or VR to help educate around it, then I think that it's the ROI on that kind of project is incredibly high for most businesses.
Who's more receptive to these types of emerging technologies? Would it be baby boomers or digital natives?
Yeah, I think it's what's been interesting to see is that there's not been a lot of resistance to trying the technology. Every time I go to a trade show or we're introducing maybe a new experience for a brand, or any kind of interaction where we're dealing with a consumer directly, the acceptance and the interest in the novelty of both technologies is still pretty high. And I've seen good interest across the age spectrum, across the gender spectrum. I mean, there's every spectrum that you have. It still has a novelty factor that I think is still pretty intriguing to a lot of people. I'm still shocked how many people haven't tried VR, especially VR. I think at this point, a lot of people have tried AR or seen it. But beyond just that novelty, from a business perspective, we're starting to see more and more, Gen X for sure, Gen Y down through Z and whatever else everybody's called nowadays. And especially in that education and training world, I know that I've been a part of lots of discussions with manufacturers who are trying to figure out ways to teach today's 19, 20 something technician in a more interesting and engaging way about their products. I think we've all heard, that the trades, in general, are actually a rather booming place for jobs and whatnot these days in manufacturing, and those positions are becoming more and more high tech. It's less our dads and grandpas who crawled into a car and could fix everything with their hands, and it's more that these guys have to understand computers and a little bit of programming and all these other things that they need to be trained in. And I've heard time and time again that the YouTube and a PowerPoint is as exciting as it gets in the classroom right now. And that's a real challenge for, I think, today's businesses and educators. And I think it's a real opportunity for some of these storytelling technologies like AR and VR.
Are you excited about the new ARKit that's for iOS?
Yeah. I think we've seen when Apple jumped on the bandwagon for AR, and really pushed it forward. Like that's kind of what they do, is they'll take into technology that's already out and run with it. And they've done that now with AR, and I think that it's going to cause the field and the practical uses, I'll put it that way, beyond just games, because I think games are easy. That's the low-hanging fruit. But the practical, innovative uses that we're going to see businesses come up with for AR is going to explode, because we're at a point in our society where everyone has a smartphone. So that it's no longer a leap to think that them adapting an AR in an application is a stretch. That's a small step at this point. And I know Apple just announced that the next version of ARKit's going to have wall detection, so that's huge, going past just tables. AR Core is going to come online this year as well from Android. And then right there, you've got millions and millions and millions of platforms ready to go for this exciting content, which I think is going to be really fun to see what happens in this space over the course of 2018.
What kind of mass applications do you see for AR and VR technologies in the immediate future? Like what's something that's happening now?
Sure. Right now, I think the companies that I've seen do the best at leveraging the technology in its current state have been more focused around smart home, around home furnishings, even some retail and makeup. I know L'Oreal has been extremely innovative in some of the applications and experiences that they've been creating for makeup and figuring out what looks best on different people. And then from two huge businesses like IKEA and Amazon, who are both using AR to showcase their products in your own home, so you can visualize and do a little bit of interior design work right there at the comfort of your couch and figure out what would look best in your room. And I think that's a natural extension to bring those commercial experiences into the consumer's home, to in their living room, and allow them to from the clothes that we wear to the home furnishings we buy, the decorations. Those are very practical. I wouldn't call them low-hanging fruit, but they're obviously good first steps for really getting people used to the technology, familiar with how it works, and getting them excited about these experiences. Well,
I'm certainly excited, and I really appreciate your insights on this, Jake. If somebody wants to connect with you, how can they go about doing that?
I'm probably most active on LinkedIn, but every now and then I'll also do a tweet or two at Jake Leeman on Twitter. So either one of those is fine.
Sounds good to me. And if you want to follow me or more of my interviews, you can do that here on ZDNet or Tech Republic, or find me on Twitter. I'm at Tonya Hall Radio, or find me on Facebook by searching for The Tonya Hall Show. Until next time.